Hey students, how are you all? Once again, welcome back to the online English classes. In today's video, we are going to continue with our discussion of the chapter MALU BHALU. As you already know, this poem has been written by Kamla Basin and it was originally written in Hindi, and from there it was translated into English by Sandhya Rao. So this also happens to be the very last poem of your NCERT book. Before discussing the poem, it's very important to take a look at the picture that is given here. So students, whenever you read a text, be that a poem or a story, most of the times you'll find some pictures beside the text. Yes, so these are called illustrations. So if you see the illustration before reading the text, you will get an idea about what you are going to read next. So here also, before we start discussing the poem, let us closely look at the picture. So here you can see there are three bears, yes, three polar bears, and the smallest among them must be MALU, and the other two polar bears are most probably her parents. Yes, and you can also see some birds flying. These are Arctic birds. Now, Arctic birds are birds which are found in Arctic or polar regions. Yes, and the names of these birds are kittiwake. Alright, there are many types of Arctic birds, but this particular bird is called kittiwake. And the picture that you can see at the bottom of the page is of MALU and her mother or father swimming in the water. High up in an icy lair lived a little polar bear. Snow white, snow bright was her mane. MALU BHALU was her name. Okay, so high up in an icy lair. Let us first see what is the meaning of the word lair. A lair is a place where a wild animal lives, often underground and hidden. Since you already know polar bear is also a wild animal, that is why it lives in a lair where it cannot be easily seen by others. Yes, a lair is also a den. Okay, so students, most of the wild animals, they have their lairs and dens. Okay, so these lairs are not easily visible from the outside because they are hidden. They're made in such a way that nobody can see it properly, and these are often found under the ground. High up in an icy lair lived a little polar bear. Now that you know the meaning of the word lair, you probably must have understood the meaning of these two sentences as well. Yes, so here we are talking about a little polar bear. We already know her name, that is MALU, and she lives in an icy lair. Why is her lair icy? It is because it is in the polar region where you'll not find anything other than ice. Yes, so if you compare the den or a lair of a polar bear to some other wild animal, it will be different because polar bears live in polar region or Arctic region, unlike the other wild animals which do not live in polar regions. Snow white, snow bright was her mane. MALU BHALU was her name. So here we are now talking about the color of MALU BHALU. So students, we have already discussed that the white that we get to see on a polar bear is not its actual color. It is the white color of its fur. Beneath the white fur, the polar bear has a body which is jet black in color. Yes, so anyways, let's just talk about the color that we get to see on polar bears. Polar bears are like this only. They are very white, snowy white in color. Okay, there is another word here, mane. Let us see what it means. The word mane means the thick, long hair that grows along the top of an animal's neck or around its waist. So here in this case, in case of a polar bear, the color of the mane is white. Yes, but if you talk about a lion or a fox's mane, the color would be completely different. So, in the very first paragraph, we discussed that Malu lived in an icy lair and her mane was as bright as snow. Very soon, our Malu Bhalu learned the things her parents knew. So, this is something that is not surprising at all, because every child first starts learning things from his or her parents only. Yes, so a polar bear's child is also not an exception. So whether we are dealing with a human child or an animal's child, they always learn from their parents first and then from any other person. Yes, so here Malu Bhalu also learns the things that her parents knew, like fish to catch, big and small. Malu was a clever girl. So, as you know, these are marine mammals, the polar bears, and they depend on fish and other animals as well. So, her parents used to catch fish, big and small in size. Malu also learned that very quickly. Why? Because she was a very clever girl. She was a very smart girl. Malu said to her mother one day, "Ma, I'm going far out to play. I want to see the things that lie there beyond the big blue sky." Okay, so students, Malu is very adventurous as well because she wants to go far out to play. Now, if you say this to your mothers that, "Mom, I want to go out and I want to go far out for playing," do you think your mother will allow you that? No. Her very first reaction would be no, because little children, they are not very good at taking care of themselves. That's why they are not allowed to go far. So the same thing happened to Malu as well. Why? Let's see. "A little patience, child," said Mom. So her mother is asking her to be patient. Okay, so I hope you already know the meaning of the word patience. Still, let us have a look at the meaning once. The word patience means the ability to wait or to continue doing something despite difficulties, or to suffer without complaining or becoming annoyed. So this is a quality, and whichever person has the quality of patience is called patient. Don't confuse the word patient with the hospital's patient. These are two different words. So we get to see that Malu is a very adventurous girl and she wants to explore things. She wants to find out what lies beyond the big blue sky. So students, I think this is something that we all must have wondered. Like, we all know about a lot about our solar system and quite a lot about our universe, but still, what lies beyond all this? This is something that I don't think the hunger of knowing this will ever be satisfied. Yes, so Malu also is a little girl. Out of the curiosity of a little child, she also wants to explore all the things that she cannot see. So, "A little patience, child," said Mom. "In the summer when next it comes." Okay, so her mother asks her to be patient. Yes, and she's also telling her to wait till the next summer. Okay, so in the summertime, they can explore and they can do many new things. Summer, patience, what a test! Malu simply could not rest. So she is so impatient, see, just like any other child. She is not willing to wait till the next summer. She wants to get it done as soon as possible. Yes, so she is not at all happy with this and she is very restless. Yes, she is not going to make a fuss over her mother's decision, but she is not happy with the decision that her mother has taken. Now, let us quickly go through a recap of all the important things that we discussed in today's video. In the very beginning, we saw that the poem deals with a little polar bear named Malu, and the name of the poem also suggests that, Malu Bhalu. Yes, along with her family, Malu lived in an icy lair of the polar region. Just like any other child, she too learned many things from her parents, like catching fish. Malu wanted to travel far because she wanted to explore the things that lie beyond the big blue sky. Yes, and finally we discussed that her mother asked her to be patient and wait for summer. And as a response to this, what did we see? That Malu is quite restless. Now that we have already discussed the first 4 paragraphs of the chapter Malu Bhalu, and we have also gone through a recap, it's time for you to answer some very easy questions. Question number 1. Where did little Malu live? Number 2. Why was Malu called a clever girl? Number 3. Why did Malu want to travel far? Number 4. Which things did Malu learn from her parents? These are very easy questions. I hope you can answer the questions without any problems. And if you're still facing any problem in understanding anything, do watch the video once again or go through the first 4 paragraphs. That's all for today's discussion. We will continue discussing about the next parts of the chapter Malu Bhalu in the upcoming few videos. Until then, stay safe and goodbye.